See that big boy right up there? That's the one we're going to try to bring down here today. And we're going to need to get it over this uneven terrain and up the hill. So the hill we're going to tackle is right here. It's a steep grade. I'd say anywhere between 30 and 40% grade, even steeper at the top. And it's a real challenge to get anything up that hill, let alone a big rock. I don't want to guess how much it weighs, but I'd say it's considerable. And it looks like it's been in the forest a while, as all rocks have. It's got a nice set of moss on it, which is why we want it. So we're going to try to get the rock up the hill and hopefully not damage any of the moss, which is a big ask. Well, first off, we damaged the moss. And here we are trying to get the rock dislodged for the first time. I've got the pry bars of the Rhino underneath, and now I'm going to clamp it down over that area that I thought would be helpful. See that groove in the rock? Thought the clamp would fit in nicely there. And it does initially, but as I mentioned, the terrain is very uneven. We've never done anything with it, so there's a lot of sticks, there's a lot of brush, there's a lot of smaller stones and divots. And it doesn't take long before I get stuck. Now, you can move the rock with the Rhino. The way it's positioned on here puts all the weight on the front, so the leverage isn't ideal. See how much of it's not on the pry bar? That makes it that much heavier. The closer it is to here, it's not as heavy. That's too soft. Yeah, that looks good. That looks much more manageable. So what I did here to help was I placed that branch underneath the stone, kind of propped it under there, and that allowed me to get the pry bars further underneath the stone and gave me a better opportunity to put down the clamp in a spot where the stone was closer to the Rhino's frame, and it did become easier. And here's a nice trick to be able to do too. If you're finding you're having any difficulty pushing, especially on a slight incline, backwards pulling can be very helpful. But again, I'm going to get stuck in a low spot, a divot here, and it's time to rearrange how we put this rock on the cart. Here I am trying to get the rock onto the cart, and I'm going to struggle more than I need to in the larger video. Here's a much easier way to do it. You can slide big stones onto the base of the frame rather easy without having that red upright support kind of dividing the frame in half. I didn't need to have that there. I just did. So this is probably not the ideal way to do it. You don't need that upright red support for moving the big rocks. But regardless, I've got it on the cart, and I've got it close to the wheels, which is where I want it, resting on the wheel shield. So that's kind of the center point where the rock is now, and that's going to be the best way to position it. You don't need that upright red support that I'm using right now to put the bungee cord in. It's an optional accessory, but still helpful. Now I'm taking the pry bars off so I can get a little closer to this beginning of the steep incline without forking the pry bars into the hill. And I'm getting a little bit of confidence. Then I get gassed pretty quickly because you can see the incline changes significantly. So I'm going to have to call in the cavalry here in order to give me a hand with getting this monstrous rock up a steep hill. Yep. There's my help. Sure do. Here she comes.
Okay.
So here's the trick. Get a strap, any kind of nylon strap with hooks, and you can hook into many parts of the frame itself. And with a little bit of assistance, it becomes far more manageable. Now this hill, as I mentioned, was no joke. The grade gets very steep near the top here. I'm going to have to take a break, a breather. But nonetheless, we are getting a big rock up a steep hill. And yeah, it's a challenge. This isn't going to be the magic cure-all. It's not heavy equipment. And you may need to employ the help of a neighbor or a friend or your wife or whomever in order to get some of these big rocks up the hill. But still, I implore you, don't think it's impossible. This is just the two of us doing a little bit of work over the course of 45 seconds to get a big rock like that up a hill. It was really tough, but still worth it. So there are a lot of extra holes in the Rhino for things like this. Hooks, straps. Strap can help pull, really helpful. This handle connector bar, so you can lean into it. You can lean your leg right into the bar and help you push. And as you can see, just two simple bungee cords kept this big rock in place. Again, for an idea perspective, that's a big rock. It's not like it's a walk in the park. It's a walk uphill. The beauty of it was we didn't have to lift the rock. We had to nudge it and roll it. But lifting, different story. Up a hill like this, that's steep, guys. But that's a big rock. In fact, we're gonna weigh it. So here we are at the weigh-in, taking a look on our scale. Easy to slide it off the base of the Rhino, and let's get a look at how big this baby was. 320 pounds. Not bad.
Not bad.